In total, 39 American presidents have died ever since December 14, 1799, the date the country's first president, George Washington, passed away. The causes of death are not clear for all of them, but some presidents have indeed endured painful deaths. The oldest president to die was George H. W. Bush, at 94, and the youngest was John F. Kennedy, at 46. From assassinations to heart attacks, and everything in between, let's go and find out how each American president died. 1. George Washington. The then former president was exposed to rain and snow while horse riding and is said to have not changed his wet clothes, as he was in a hurry. The following morning, George Washington had a sore throat, and the day after he fell ill. After being bled by doctors a few times, Washington passed away on December 14, 1799, aged 67. The cause of death has been reported as fulminant acute epiglottitis. 2. John Adams. Adams lived until he was 90, which is quite remarkable for someone who lived in the mid-18th century to early 19th century with heart problems. Adams passed away on July 4, 1826, during the celebrations of the Declaration of Independence, of a supposed heart attack. For 178 years, Adams remained the longest living American president, until Ronald Reagan passed away at 93. 3. Thomas Jefferson. Interestingly, Thomas Jefferson died on the same day as his predecessor John Adams, on July 4, 1826. Jefferson suffered from a number of health problems, including rheumatism, septicemia, kidney disease, and possibly undiagnosed prostate cancer. Jefferson became bedridden on June 26 and died a few days later, aged 83. The specific cause of death remains unknown. 4. James Madison. Liver dysfunction and chronic rheumatism haunted the last years of President James Madison's life. Before he passed away of heart failure on June 28, 1836, Madison told his niece, "I always talk better lying down." He was 85. 5. James Monroe. James Monroe had survived malaria years before, but then he started to develop lung problems, possibly tuberculosis. The fifth president of the United States died in New York City on July 4, 1831, aged 73. 6. John Quincy Adams. The sixth American president, and son of former President John Adams, suffered a stroke on February 21, 1848 and died 2 days later. He was 80. 7. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson suffered from several health problems, including chronic diarrhea, dropsy, tuberculosis, and fluid retention. He died not long after an unsuccessful surgery to drain stomach fluids, on June 8, 1845, aged 78. 8. Martin Van Buren. The president's health deteriorated rapidly after being struck by pneumonia, and later by bronchial asthma. Martin Van Buren died of heart failure on July 24, 1862. He was 79. 9. William Henry Harrison. After delivering a long speech in the cold and rain during his inauguration, the president developed a cold. This evolved into pneumonia, and not long after he fell to bed and died on April 4, 1841. Harrison was president for 31 days, which is to this day the shortest presidency in American history. He was 68. 10. John Tyler. William Henry Harrison's vice president, John Tyler, took over the presidency upon his death. For his part, Tyler passed away on January 18, 1862, after suffering a stroke. He was 71. 11. James K. Polk. James K. Polk died at home on July 15, 1849, after contracting cholera. The former president was 53, and had left office just 3 months prior. 12. Zachary Taylor. On July 4, 1850, while in office, President Zachary Taylor came down with severe diarrhea after drinking lots of iced buttermilk, and eating raw vegetables and cherries. Taylor died on July 9, aged 65. It's believed that he contracted cholera from one of the foods he consumed. His body was exhumed and examined in 2014 after suspicions of poisoning, but no evidence was found. 13. Millard Fillmore. The former president managed to recover from a stroke he had while shaving on February 13, 1874. But on February 26, he suffered yet another stroke, which left him incapacitated. Fillmore died on March 8, aged 74. 14. Franklin Pierce. President Franklin Pierce struggled with alcoholism, and started to drink heavily when his sons and wife died. He fell ill and was diagnosed with dropsy, though the cause of death was cirrhosis of the liver. Pierce died on October 8, 1869, aged 64. 15. James Buchanan. James Buchanan died on June 1, 1868. Though he was diagnosed with rheumatic gout at the time, the former president most likely died of pneumonia. He was 77. 16. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was the first American president to be assassinated. He was shot by John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 14, 1865. Lincoln passed away 9 hours later, on April 15, aged 56. 17. Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson survived a stroke on July 28, 1875, but then he suffered another stroke the following day and fell into a coma. Johnson passed away on July 31, aged 66. 18. Ulysses S. Grant. The 63-year-old former president passed away on July 23, 1885, due to complications caused by throat cancer. 19. Rutherford B. Hayes. Rutherford B. Hayes died in his son's arms on January 17, 1893 after suffering a heart attack. He was 70. 20. James Garfield. The president was shot twice by Charles Guiteau on July 2, 1881. After an unhygienic procedure to try and remove one of the bullets, Garfield developed sepsis. President Garfield died an agonizingly painful death on September 19, aged 49. Part 2 video is packed with even more exciting content, so please don't miss out. Please do watch it. Who was your favorite president? Please comment below.